All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome back to Honey Badger Arcade. My name is Brian. I'm here with John, the problematic white guy. This is the Week in Culture, the show where we look at all of the things happening in our culture for the week and put as well as we can like a bit of a different spin on things. So welcome, John, to the show. How you doing?
Indeed. Oh, awesome as always. Busy guy, but it's actually a good thing because I've spent I don't know how many months I've been streaming. Well, I've been streaming here for over a year now. But for the majority of that time, I haven't had a working PC. I now actually have the working PC in my hand that I've been waiting for seems like forever now.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, arrived from the UK earlier this week. But it showed up basically on my day off, halfway through my day off. So I was just like, you know what? Like, all I can really do, I've waited this long. I'll just wait until I finish up streams on Sunday night and I have Monday off and sort of tear all this stuff down and rebuild it. And I've got a nice busy week ahead of me of actually rising to the challenge now. So as difficult as the last year's been without tech, now the real challenge begins because now I actually have to start making stuff not only for myself but all these other larger projects been sitting on a back burner with my production work and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time though, but it's got me busy to no end. I think I got like barely 3 hours of sleep last night. I was trying to watch Fallout Season 1 for a second time. I watched it this week for the first time.
Oh, the
And
show? Are you supposed to be talking about it or something?
yeah, because Season 2 starts in December. And so the new stream that I'm starting after this show today, that's going to be one of the things we talk about. So I figured I should probably watch it if I'm going to get into any kind of in-depth analysis on it. He's played the games a lot, so I figured he could talk about the game side of it, and I could talk about what's actually there. And it does not have a girl boss as the main character. Ellie Purnell, I think is how you say her name. It's actually really the characterization is actually really good. It's not perfect, obviously, what in 2025 ever is going to be, but for all intents and purposes, for what you would expect far worse from Amazon, given their track record on streaming things. But it's actually it's not bad. I mean, it's probably not for everyone because I think the more that you actually play the games, the more that you'll probably really kind of pick it apart and this and that. But it actually does some things fairly well in terms of characterization and kind of getting. It's very similar to the game. You once you get your grand destination and it's a GPS tracker that's telling you to go to this place. It's pretty much just a story about you getting there, and so there's some stuff there along the way. But
it sounds kind of like probably like a slightly bigger budget version of the Twisted Metal show, which I did watch the first season of Twisted Metal, and I mean it's got some cringe-worthy moments in it, but it definitely like generally feels like it could it is trying to sort of emulate the game. But the problem is that I don't know about Fallout. I mean, obviously Fallout has more opportunities for more.
Yeah, Fallout's a little bit more of a developed world than like Twisted Metal.
Yeah, Twisted Metal is just car combat, and the story is just like, it just exists to essentially justify the game existing. It's sort of like, Double Dragon exists, but the plot is just enough to get you to beat a bunch of gang members up until you get to the final boss, right?
So, right.
Yeah.
But no, it's one of those things that I would say it's good, but it's not going to be life-changing,
Right.
But as far as adaptations go, it's
I mean, if it does fan service and it doesn't like get preachy, like that. The thing is that when you're doing like game adaptations, you have to remember that you're essentially taking a step backwards because video games are a level beyond like a show or a movie.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that you couldn't do a decent job of it.
Oh yeah,
you would have to very much stick to the source material as much as possible, so that the fans are at least satisfied by that, right?
Right, and that's probably one of the biggest complaints is there is some stuff, and this is the thing: if Todd Howard hadn't said that it was tied into the continuity of the games, I think even those issues that people have would kind of be put off to the wayside.
Yeah, I guess it messes with the timeline,
but
a lot or something.
Yeah, those are probably the biggest issues is there's some stuff in there that doesn't vibe with what we are in the know of, but otherwise it actually, in terms of, you know how they'll do stupid shit like how did Indiana Jones get his hat kind of things, you know, when they do,
and that little dice thing that like Han
right,
Solo like is like
right,
you
right.
know like
So
nobody like a question nobody asked.
right. So in this one, they actually get into the origins of a few characters, but they actually do it fairly smart, and just set up, because you've got archetypical characters. You've got a naive vault dweller. You've got you know, an ambitious person in the Brotherhood of Steel, and then you've got this ghoul that you find out was actually the original Pip-Boy from the advertisements and all this kind of stuff. So it's actually fairly decent in its characterization, and it is such a rich world that it gets more right than it gets wrong. I would say, which I know in this crowd, like there's some people who absolutely think it's the worst thing in the world, and then there's people that think that kind of where I'm at, where it's like, you know, I enjoyed Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie, and it changed the continuity at the end pretty big time. But
By getting rid of the monster,
right. But an interstellar space monster that just kind of comes out in the last 30 minutes of the story is almost a more difficult thing to do than just say there's a global conspiracy, and you know, and it has its tentacles and everything. So they were able to at least kind of. So yeah, I'm willing to give things the ability to kind of exist in their own space to some degree, as long as it's not all about the message and this and that. And the few characters that you could say were kind of girl bossy are actually complete pieces of shit. So it's subtly based in a lot of the things that it's talking about, but it also does kind of talk about zealotry and how you end up in these extremes, and that's how you end up in a dystopia, is by not being able to talk about things and keep some level-headed discernment. But anyways,
well,
that's.
I think it's good that you brought this up, because we're going to be getting into some of the stuff on today's show is going to be about that. Like, I think there's a big difference between getting things wrong or like, I don't know, maybe like laziness or misinformation or a concern that people are not going to receive it well, you know, so you basically like move away from things that are a little bit, because remember before we had like the MCU, before that, almost every project based on a comic book was compromised in some way.
Right.
Like, they compromised it in some way because they were like, well, we can have X-Men, which are mutants, but we can't have them existing in a world with aliens like the Shi'ar Empire. So we're just going to like pretend like that doesn't exist, or we're going to have everything with powers has to be a mutant too, which is why I think in the third movie they made Juggernaut a mutant, even though Juggernaut's not a mutant.
Right.
So like it's like things like that, and I'm like, okay, right, like as a fan of this stuff, it's not ideal. Like I criticize that, but I don't think it's because there's like a motive to destroy it. Like there's a getting it wrong because you're, you know, misinformed, or you're not invested enough, or you don't really know it enough, you're not enough of a geek around it, or whatever. You're just, you know, people are signing a paycheck, they know it's an IP that can make some money, we're just going to act on that. I don't think that that's nearly as like bad as people who are purposefully destroying it. Like they believe that the opposite of what this stands for should be the thing. Like the people, like the Acolyte.
Witcher.
That was, what was that?
Like The Witcher.
Like The Witcher, like the Acolyte, like all the Star Wars stuff after Disney bought it, basically was like ideologically like oriented towards undoing what it was, as opposed to, like I said, you know, people who made like a movie like Batman v Superman. I don't think that Zack Snyder was like, I'm gonna destroy this. I think Zack Snyder was like, well, I think I can do better than what the comics did, or something, right? And so he was just like taking things. It was more of an ego thing, as opposed to like a kind of let's say, you know, hate for the material. But look, we got a couple of things we're going to talk about. I want to get into it because I do have a lot of stories. Big show today, guys, so please hit that like button and be sure to like contribute to the conversation in the chat. I'll be looking at what you guys have to say, and I just want you to know, you guys could be anywhere but you're here, and I really appreciate it. So Mr. 0303, what's up? Norwegian Black Templar, what's up? Deadly Do Right, what's up? Zarank, St. Hugo, and Trickster Not, welcome to the stream, and anybody else who's watching. So let's get into it. So first we got, in a bit of news that surprised absolutely nobody, Grand Theft Auto's been delayed. Again.
Gee, it almost feels like I was here a year ago. Actually, it's a little over a year ago. The first time I used that thumbnail image was back in October of 2024. And I believe I said then at that point in time, there's no way this thing is coming out until the end of 2026 at the earliest.
They should just stop promising.
Right. Well, the thing of it is
they should just say, remember what Blizzard used to say?
Mm-hmm.
They used to say when it's done. This is before they got like paused by Activision and the feminists.
Right.
But when they were like a legitimate company, Blizzard they would never promise a release date. They would just say when it's done.
Right.
So.
Well, it's on one hand, I kind of understand what's going on at Rockstar because they have their investor meetings or quarterlies and all this kind of stuff, and so they have to try to keep the stock prices from fluctuating or what the hell ever. But yeah, this is absolutely of no surprise to anybody. I'm hopeful that it'll actually, get out by the end of 2026. I think that they are getting to the end of their tether. As many times as Grand Theft Auto Online was supposed to have its moratorium date and then got added back. This goes back at least 5 years now, where they were supposed to be putting out their final update, and yet they have to keep doing it. But it still makes them tons of money, so they have no need necessarily to get it out anything too new from just a financial perspective. But there's also the ideology thing. So I think that maybe they might be trying to fix some of that stuff because the climates certainly have changed. But also at the same time, think about how many people they already have in that structure, which is, what we were talking, I can't remember if we were talking about it here last week about I believe it's their Edmonton office. They got rid of 30 people in the unionization effort, but they had a private Discord server that they were talking about how much they made and all this and that. And so it's like, that is a breach of the NDAs, because when you have an NDA for Rockstar, not only are you supposed to not talk about things that can end up in through public forums that are unsecure, like a Discord server, but you're not even really supposed to be talking with people within the organization about confidential matters. So they set themselves up for getting bounced out on their asses, and most of them were DEI hires because they were in Canada. So I can't really feel bad.
That will slow things down a lot. Yeah, the DEI thing is and I'm sure Rockstar participated in that. So what was one of the effects of this, other than like not surprising anybody? So originally it was postponed to May of next year. Now it's postponed till November 6th. Or no, sorry, November 19th, 2026.
Yep.
So it was originally supposed to come out already. Like originally when they announced it was be fall of this year, which we're getting into, we're actually heading towards winter now.
Yep.
And now it was pushed back to May of next year. Now it's been pushed back to November of next year. So I expect a couple more pushback. And what happened, one thing that's interesting is the news triggered an immediate market reaction. Take-Two, company that owns Rockstar, their stock went down 8%, which is massive. In after hours trading before partial recovery, underscoring the game's massive anticipated impact. They're projecting that it's going to sell over 40 million copies in the first year.
I mean, it'll be successful. I'm not going to say it's not, but we'll see what happens with word of mouth.
That's a big expectation. I think it's going to do well for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're going to have to really do something more than just like fingerprint smudges on stripper poles. Which is like that's the level of detail they're supposed to get people excited about. But I'm noticing that people are perfectly fine with games that have like a graphic fidelity from like 2004 or 2005.
Exactly.
And it does not to say that like games that are like running at the highest end now can't be impressive. I think there are ways to do it. I've been playing the I think it's the last Berserker Kazan, which is sort of like this, you know, people call it a Souls like. It's got some of that, but it's definitely more in line with like games like Sekiro or Stellar Blade, and it's beautiful, but it's not because of like, you know, running on Unreal Engine 5 or anything like that. It's because of the art design. I think that GTA 6 is definitely trying to do something new, or at least unique insofar as how graphically impressive it's going to be. But I don't know that that's going to be enough. And that might be, I think that, you know, there's definitely a possibility that the kind of work, I guess, climate that was created in let's say around 2019, 2020, where all the DEI stuff started. I mean, it's always existed, but like it really ramped up. Right?
In Rockstar, it really right after the Me Too movement, there was a big power shift. In the people that were there.
The Me Too movement. 2017,
and
something like that.
And the whole way that Rockstar operated as an organization, because I mean, at the time, my friend who works there, he, you know, he made like there was stuff that was coming out in the news about it as well, but he, you know, talked about how the job just really wasn't fun anymore and things like that. And I mean, he ended up I don't really even talk to him anymore, because I think that he just kind of he's one of those developers who's just keeping his head down and just trying to do the job that he was getting paid to do. And you know, it's definitely had some degree of mental fatigue and anguish on him. Most of the people that used to be his contemporaries and his friends from art school, you know, people that he's known for 20 years, he just kind of stopped talking to all of them. He's very insulated in the San Diego structure at this point in time, it seems, unfortunately. But yeah, there's been a big shift between the company that put out GTA 5 and the company that's putting out GTA 6 at this point. So, and of course, you know, they were the ones who were sitting here trying to push the $100 release price the most, because they're like, well, we've invested this much, the game's worth this much. But again, profit by volume. If you go and raise your price $30 on top of what is considered acceptable market terms, which is even kind of high, but if you go and do that, then they're now actually saying that the analysis for it is, yeah, you'll probably sell more copies, make more profit if you don't try to profiteer off of, you know, you're going to price yourself out of the market if you are in such an overloaded kind of budgeted thing.
Yeah, and then you're gonna drive people over to Saints Row. Oh, wait a minute, no, they're gone.
right. Although there is rumblings that they're doing yet another
go play
reboot.
Schedule 1. Yeah,
that's right. Grand Theft Auto South Park is right there.
Well, it's doing really well. I mean,
I have a copy
and
of
also
it.
Enanta is going to be coming out, and that's GTA meets Spider-Man meets, you know, like all kinds, like a bunch of games in one. So I don't know how they're going to compete with that.
Absurdity just firmly placed right in the center of it all.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same landscape that it was when GTA used to be GTA.
No,
so,
of course not. Yeah, no
all
one's
bets
having.
Are off.
And the what is it? I remember hearing stories about how hard it was for the developers when they were working on LA Noire. And how much pressure there was to like meet these deadlines, and people felt really overworked. So, yeah. So I mean, I imagine it's only gotten a lot worse since then, considering how long it took to develop Red Dead 2, GTA 5, which was like an ongoing project. I think maybe they stopped, you know, adding to it, but it's still like going strong. And now GTA 6. And there's rumor, I don't know, I didn't mention this last time, but there are rumors that Rockstar's next project is going to be set in medieval Europe.
Now, I've read about that. I've heard conflicting things that they were planning on it, but it got canceled in production as well.
Yeah.
But who knows on these things.
It would have been cool if they tried something different.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of their stuff is generally grounded in reality. Like for Spooktober, I played some Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, which was like the, you know, like that expansion. It's kind of its own game for the original Red Dead. And I was like, this was a lot of fun. Like, why? Like, you know, because I don't know. I kind of want Rockstar to try something different. I know a lot of people want like a sequel to Bully. And that would be nice, but I mean like something really different, like science fiction, like something out there, you know, to see how they would do it. I'd be curious. So
yeah, they've been in the past and they're in the present all the time. It would be interesting to see their take on the future.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then again, we're also thinking about Rockstar as we knew it, not Rockstar as it is. So.
That's right. Rockstar as we knew it, not as it is. I know. Anyway, well, let us know what you guys think about this one. I'm going to look at some of your comments and we're going to move on. I'm not surprised, and I expect there may even be more delays. It's just, you know, like, I think that the expectations are really high. It puts Daikatana to shame.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing I did a year ago. The first time we talked about this, it's always going to come out in November. Historically, it has always come out in November. So if there's ever a delay after this, and they say May of,
I think you did say that,
yeah, and if they end up saying May of 2027 next year, that means it'll be November of 2027. It is not going to come out in the middle of fucking May ever. So it'll always be a November release, and they'll always do this 6-month kind of. Oh, just wait a little bit longer. Just wait a little bit longer. But
yeah,
we'll see when it eventually comes out. Hopefully, they will have been able to right their ship by that point in time, and it ends up being better than I'm anticipating.
Well, on the plus side, like people who were a bit worried if they were going to have the money to buy it, if they were interested in buying it, well, they can hold on to their money for a little while longer. So there is that. Because I think
suppose if you started
an $80 or $100 game, I mean, we were talking about that. So
right, well, maybe what we were supposed to do is we were all supposed to just be putting $5 in a jar every month from whatever point in time, and you know, if you'd done that years ago when they
announced it,
you'd have the money to pay for it, you know, because you'd have.
And the longer they push it back, the more it'll be, because you'll have saved more money. So
right. So you just need to. That's it, everybody. You just need to have a Grand Theft Auto 6 fund and just put $5
get a jar
every month. Yeah,
put $5 in it every month,
and don't think about
until
it
the game comes out.
Until the game
and then just give them the jar.
That's right.
And you'll get the base game without all the DLC and stuff. All right, but anyway, we're gonna move on. So I got a Rumble rant from Zaranx. Thank you, Zaranx, for $2, and he says they're just trying to make the game better, guys. That's always the goal. Vampire Bloodlines 2 took 20 years, and look at how good that I broke. I couldn't keep it straight.
Indeed.
Yeah, I never played the vampire games, but yeah, well, I mean, again, the longer you delay, the higher people's expectations are going to be, and that's unfortunately something you have to take into account. So it's probably better that you don't promise anything, right? and just be careful, right? Because I don't know. I feel like GTA 6 is going to disappoint in some ways. Because even GTA, like GTA 4 disappointed in ways. But people were comparing it to San Andreas, and you know, it was just, a lot of people just thought it was inferior,
right?
Because it was too realistic or something. I don't know. They just didn't.
It was kind of pretentiously up its ass about its. We're telling stories about the human condition.
Yeah.
It's like
exactly. So it just didn't. It wasn't having as much fun as San Andreas was. That's basically what it is.
Yep.
So. But anyway, thank you for that. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Sen Hugo says Bethesda never changes.
Right.
Trickster Not says I still dislike the Fallout show. That's okay. Norwegian Black Templar says GTA 6 being delayed yet again has become good news at this point.
Right.
Frank Blaskowitz says, well on the way to a $3+ billion budget. Yeah, I feel like they're going to be pouring a lot of money into that game, and it's going to have to sell like gangbusters, probably break even, because this is like the same thing that happens with movies, where they delay them, they do reshoots, they do, you know, script changes, they bring in, like, they alter shit, they bring in the special effects guys, and it just adds to the budget because they screwed up like in the initial phases, and they end up spending like twice as much money on the movie, and nobody watches it anyway.
Yeah,
so
I think the fact that they updated their GTA 6 website with the GTA Plus service information says everything right there. You're not getting a new game, but you are getting a new payment system debuted before anything else. So yeah, that game is going to cost $100 to enter and $100 a year to play. Over $100.
Yeah. Master Goa says, watching and playing the horse game to see why everyone loves Gold Ship. I don't know what that is.
I'm not quite sure.
Is that the one where you bet on horse waifus in races?
Yeah, you'll have to get back with something that, because I think it might be, but I can't say.
Pajumi6787 says, add me on Discord to join your live stream whenever you're streaming. My username is Lamine243. I don't know who you are, but there is a link to my Discord in the description, so just join our Discord and I'll vet you. Norwegian Black Templar says, Schedule 1 will add magic mushrooms in the next update. So they're still updating that game. Very cool.
Yep.
King Hugo says, Red Dwarf Redemption or Grand Theft Starfield. That's cool, yeah.
I wouldn't mind having a Red Dwarf Redemption, but then again, that's because I'm halfway through the series for WTF Live. We're watching episodes 5 and 6 of season 6 tomorrow. So that is another thing. Recently, they were trying to get another season, and it's kind of been on and off and on and off, and right now it's in an off phase again. So probably not going to happen. But Grand Theft Auto Starfield. Oh man.
Master Goa says, I think they're pushing it back so they can release it after Trump is out of office. They believe woke products will do good after Trump chuds are gone. It's not the right climate for woke games. Well, maybe try not releasing woke games.
Yeah, that might be the actual
nobody
solution.
Wants that anyways. Norwegian Black Templar says, Cousin, it's me, Roman. Want to go bowling? Let's see some American titties. Nova Fan says the horse game is Uma Musume. Okay. And he says also Nikkei is pronounced Nikkei. Did I say something different? Or are you correcting someone else? All right. Well, thank you for your comments. We got to move on to the next story. So speaking of disastrous layoffs, this is the relatively recent news, sort of. So Square Enix announced a new round of layoffs on November 6th. So the day before yesterday. Targeting the its US and European publishing operations as part of a fundamental restructuring to consolidate development in Japan and create a more lean and agile global structure. The cuts affecting an estimated 100 employees or more than 100 employees across roles like QA, localization, influencer relations, and marketing were revealed during an all-hands video meeting led by President Takashi Kiryu, with affected staff notified immediately afterwards. This reductions last year, which the company admitted fell short of goals, and aims to save over 3 billion yen, which is like $20 million, annually, while integrating overseas teams more closely with Japanese headquarters. The move coincides with Square Enix's push towards AI integration, planning to shift 70% of QA and debugging tasks to generative AI within 2 years, boost efficiency. In a statement, the company expressed gratitude to departing employees, bye nigga, and committed to respectful support during the transition, emphasizing long-term growth amid a 15% revenue drop to $875 million for the first half of 2025. So they had to lay off a bunch of Western employees, and I am here for it.
Yeah, and I did not hear amongst those departments, I did not hear game devs. So it seems as though they're getting rid of superficial people that are in roles that really don't, what is it I always say? DI hires will lead to DEI fires to make way for AI integration. And here it is. That's, that, and the fact that they went after those people and not people that are actually responsible for doing the actual development stuff and who have talent, skill, and ability, I can't really feel too bad. So yeah, I'm here for it too. Get rid of marketing, Marketing, accounting, and legal. That's where the malpractice in business comes from.
Absolutely. And I think this is like what we wanted to have happen as well, because like the best way to course correct is essentially to stop giving them money, and when you do that, they're going to start cutting the fat, and when they do, it's going to be literally the fat that gets cut. So so that's what
attached to the
doing.
blue hair and the nose ring and everything.
Yeah, the nose rings, the blue hair, and the fat is going to get cut. And this is good news in my opinion, and I'm here for it again, because like I don't really want to see these companies go under completely, because I think there are still some good IPs they have under their belt. They just need the right people, and so get rid of the wrong people and let's see how they do. Maybe we can bring, like, Square can get some people on that'll bring back some other franchises, since they've just been focused on, basically it's just been Final Fantasy like all the time. Well, maybe people want like another Just Cause. Maybe people want what's another one that I was thinking about? Another Square thing, like well, they just came out with another Tactics. There's like, so many other Square properties that I used to love, like Vagrant Story and other RPGs, that are not Final Fantasy. Are you like making something in your?
No. Okay. Yeah, I do apologize. So my power went out just the other day, and ever since I turned it back on, the fan and the laptop has been sounding like this, which is thankfully I do have the new PC here.
No, I just want to make sure, like, it's okay.
No,
it is what it is.
No.
Yeah.
I noticed this yesterday when I turned it back, because it was like, what is that? And it's the fans. So as soon as I put in the new PC, I have to tear this one down and clean it out and see if I just have to replace the fans in it. But thankfully, that's part of the reason why I've been waiting for this new PC, is because this laptop's on its last legs. Obviously, I've been using it like a server for almost 4 or 5 years, which is not what it's designed for. So yeah, it's the fans are just screaming because they're dying. So I hopefully by the time we get to next week's show, though, I should have everything reset up in here for and that buzzing should be no longer part of the package. It was one of those things where I get all the way to the end of the line, and the last mile, of course, has to be the most annoying. But I guess this gives me all the more reason to get motivated to actually put everything together as quickly as possible once I have the day off to do it.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. Like, it can't be helped, so we'll just have to deal with it. But maybe like when you're not talking, just mute, and then that'll like give it a little bit, and then like when you're ready, just unmute.
Yeah, it's weird how it goes off, but yeah, that's what I mean about it.
No, it's okay. So yeah, so I just wanted to mention again, Squaresoft is doing some layoffs. These are the kinds of things we want to see, like where basically they're just getting rid of the stuff that's either hurting their company or not helping. It's just like a hole they're putting money into. And when they start feeling it in the sales, they're going to be more likely to do that. So I think that's good. And so let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see. Trying to see. St. Hugo says, best I can do with horse is dinner. I don't know what that is. Okay. The Master Girl says we need Square to remaster Xenogears and Parasite Eve. I noticed that a lot of people have been asking for a new Parasite Eve, like a remake or a sequel or something, and to the point where they're like making AI videos about like that shows what it could look like. Parasite Eve and Dino Crisis, those are like the things everybody wants. So yeah, and Xenogears was awesome. I know Xenosaga was like the big thing that like really took off, and I don't know if those games are related, but Xenogears was the one where it was like you were like a kung fu guy, right? That was a super cool game. We also needed a Bushido Blade. Yes, Bushido Blade would be awesome right now. That'd be great. I also liked, there's like this shooter. I don't know if it's, you guys remember, is it called Einhander or something? And it was like a shooter. Anyway, and then there was Guys, which was like a beat up, like a fighting game beat 'em up thing, and it had like Cloud in it. But that was and Tobal, the Tobal games, those were great. But anyway, I digress. You know, well, more of all of that, Square. Let's like get away from the Final Fantasy. It's not the only thing you guys have. I mean, I get it. It's like your flagship thing, but you know, there's definitely more stuff out there. So, all right. Let us know what you guys think about that in the comments. Okay. Speaking of Japanese companies making changes, I have another great story for you guys. Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry has proposed the 5 principles of entertainment and creative industry policy to safeguard creative freedom in anime, manga, and video games amid rising global censorship pressures. Unveiled during the 8th Creative Industry Study Group in October, the principles stem from a review of policies from 2013 to 2024 and incorporate public feedback urging less government interference in content and more direct support for creators over intermediaries. A core tenet explicitly commits to non-interference in artistic substance, aiming to counter politically motivated puritanism from entities like Visa and MasterCard, which have denied services to businesses handling risque Japanese materials. Remember Collective Shout? The initiative supports the industry's ambitious target of 20 trillion yen, which is about $130 billion American, in overseas sales by 2033, emphasizing large-scale, long-term strategic aid to foster innovation and compete with fiscally supportive nations. The policy prioritizes simplifying access to funding for creators and disseminators, stimulating private investment, and monitoring distribution networks over the next 3 decisive years. While not yet formally adopted, pending submission and approval by Japan's National Diet, the guidelines signal a proactive defense against external meddling, as seen in responses like DL Site's launch of an independent payment service in late 2023 to bypass credit card restrictions. The proposal is hailed as a vital stand for expression, particularly for high-risk, high-reward projects, offering optimism in an era of winner-takes-all market dynamics and cultural threats, though its full impact hinges on legislative passage and global reception. So they have proposed this to protect manga, anime, and video games made out of Japan from censorship, which this is, again, I think this is great. I think that they're recognizing what's going on. They're trying to stop it. And we knew, you know, Collective Shout and these other activist groups that were trying to protect women are just going after things that men enjoy. And Japan, financially, they have a real reason to not let that happen, since a lot of their stuff is very fan servicey. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah. No, I think that it's definitely a positive step to safeguard their ability to actually tell stories and hold on to their cultural interests and not get bowled over by a corporatist globalism effort through financial constraints. You know, there really should be more of this. You know, this is the reason why Western development is failing, is because it's so caught up in all these things that go beyond just the actual focus on making games and making them true to the stories that you're trying to tell. So the fact that Japan is looking at this and saying, well, ultimately, you know, the thing that matters is our artistic and sensibilities and our integrity and things like that, and to get that compromised just for metrics and things like that is, you know, it's not worth it. And so, if they're doing whatever they can to ensure their viability of their culture through entertainment, that is to be commended, especially in this current climate of way too much risk aversion and you know, profiteering schemes based on trying to capture wider markets and lifestyle groups and all this kind of stupid shit. Just no, focus on the thing that got you to where you are and made you successful to begin with. And you know, if you're, it's kind of the thing that I always talk about on these streams about, I'd much rather have a quality audience than a quantity audience.
Yeah.
Just because you have a larger install base doesn't mean that you're actually able to net better results. Because oftentimes you end up having to dumb down the stories and all this kind of stuff and everything that made it even worthwhile gets lost along the way in the pursuit of profit over, actually just entertaining. And if you entertain well enough, you will be profitable. So it seems like the better course of action to take in the long term, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, we'll have to wait and see how this comes out. But the proposal is there, and Japan did recently elect in like a pretty hard right government. So they're going to be probably more free speech oriented. I don't know, at least like in terms of their industries, that they are, they get a lot of money out of the culture that they produce.
Right.
Like it was for a while that the primary export of the United States was culture with Hollywood and such. But Hollywood has basically shot itself in the dick. So it's all coming out of Japan now. At least that's where people are going. And so now they have the opportunity to really grab a foothold, especially in their animated entertainment and their video games.
Right.
So yeah, I think that they're gonna. I don't know if it's gonna pass. I hope it does. And they definitely have to say no to, like I said, these credit card providers and these activists like Collective Shout that it probably, contributed to this mess. So that's a good. And then all I can hope for after that is that other countries will follow suit. Yeah. Be like, oh, you know what? We can do that. Yeah. You can do that. You can say no to feminists. Okay, well, we're going to say no.
Right, which might be the wisest thing anybody could ever do.
Yeah, and also like create your own banks essentially is what they're doing, So they're going to go with independent
centralized currency is
decentralized.
Centralized currencies is the way to having a one world government. That has always been their course of action. So yeah, anything to resist that, I'm all here for.
Absolutely. All right, let me see what you guys have to say. We're going to move on to the next one. So Master Goa says, I need Square to lay off the ethics department. Zerang says, I'd love a new Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve 2 wasn't as good as the first game. It tried to emulate Resident Evil and Final Fantasy. Yeah, the original Parasite Eve was like an RPG, and the weapons, like the way that it worked is you'd like go to attack, and this like grid bubble would appear to show what the range of your attacks were. And it was you had to think it looked like Resident Evil, but you didn't. It wasn't Resident Evil. If you went in with a Resident Evil mindset, you were gonna have a hard time. Master Goa says Xenosaga is a spiritual successor to Xenogears. Takahashi left Square to take Xeno at Namco. Then he formed Monolith Soft to continue Xeno games under Nintendo. Aha. Mr. 0303 says hopefully Japan realizes that the global banks are not their friends. No. I hope so too, but I think if anyone's going to figure it out, it should be Japan. Masagoa says Japan needs to just AI translate their game so they can keep fan service while skipping shitty Western localizations, tuning up their games. Yes. Well, that's the thing. Like AI makes the localizations easy, like really easy if you think about it. So yeah, the people who made their career doing that, they're done. They're done. I mean, even it doesn't matter if they agree with them or not. It's just going to be so much cheaper to get AI to do it. And they can have AI do the voice too, probably. You just get you could literally get AI to clone the voice of a Japanese voice actor, but have them say the lines in any language you want. And it wouldn't be that difficult. So NovaFan21 gives us $1 on Rumble and says Japan's proposal will depend on how Funimation infiltrates Japanese industries. Oh, that fan service would be so much more profitable if all the women wore burqas for the New York demographic. The incoming New York demographic. The New York audience, yeah. All right. Master Goa says China's becoming a powerhouse because they like fan service and don't force people of color into their historically Chinese games. Yeah, I mean, look, say what you want about the Chinese government, but they are competing, and like that we can't just point at them and say they're communists, and that's not going to hurt their sales. So we're going to have to just compete against them. So yeah, I agree. China doesn't have a problem, trying to make money on that. So. All right. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the next one. Let us know what you guys think about this in the comments. Okay. So rumors. I know you guys heard about this. But there are rumors that Disney is going to be making a new Sleeping Beauty, a live-action remake called Aurora. And I know what you're thinking. Didn't they already do that? It was called Maleficent. Look, that one, the memory hole is easy to use. Okay, so they're making a remake of Sleeping Beauty called Aurora, and it's a reimagining of the classic Sleeping Beauty fairy tale. Which, by the way, look, as far as the Disney animated movies, Sleeping Beauty is one of my most favorite because I think it was it was like one of the best animated, like in terms of the quality of the animation. Sleeping Beauty had like some of the highest quality. I think it's definitely underrated in terms of just like the execution at the technical level, and it's a good story. I think they did a good job with it, but they're remaking it and they're going to relocate it to Mexico. Leaked by industry leader Daniel Richman on November 4th, 2025, the project reportedly, now this is a rumor, guys, so but I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be true. The project reportedly draws on Mexican folklore, potentially incorporating elements like Aztec mythology, Dia de los Muertos imagery, or enchanted Magoi thorns instead of spinning wheel curse. Because, when Hollywood, have you guys ever noticed? We'll talk about this after I read the write-up. I'll come back to that. So they're going to use Dia de los Muertos imagery, enchanted Maguey thorns instead of spinning wheel curse. Speculation suggests it could follow a princess-like figure falling into a centuries-long sleep, awakened by a charro, which is a Mexican cowboy hero, blending Spanish romance with indigenous magic, echoing variants like La Bella Duelamente del Bosque de Jalisco. Disney has not confirmed this, but its timing follows the success of Lilo and Stitch, which was remade, and I guess it was successful, and revives paused remake plans after Snow White's flop. If real, it might aim for a 2027-2028 release, positioning it as a culturally infused blockbuster to diversify the princess lineup. So again, this is just a rumor, but fan reception to the rumor has been polarized, with backlash accusing Disney of creative bankruptcy for grafting a European tale onto a Mexican culture rather than creating an original story. Yes, critics on Reddit and X argue it's tone deaf amid U.S.-Mexico political tensions, questioning why not. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty falls asleep, wakes up in Mexico when she was in America, and she is awakened by an ICE agent. But anyway.
I thought she might have just woke up having to count how many organs she still has.
Sex trafficked by a coyote, yeah.
Right. Disney's gonna Disney. A month or two ago, they came out and they were saying how, look, we're gonna stop making the Disney princesses ethically beige, multicultural, POCs.
Stop making what?
They said they were gonna stop doing ethically beige. Women of color and all that kind of stuff. This is about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I think. But yeah, if this ends up still coming out, yeah, that would be totally par for the course. Go and say the thing, and then because how many times have they said they were going to stop putting out way too much stuff during the year and all, and yet it still comes out like it's a fucking fire hose. Disney cannot do anything other than be Disney.
No.
Yeah. They're
again, if this is true,
right?
If this is true, I think it's disastrous, a terrible idea, and it should fail. Like, it's so bad, and I mean, it's just not a good idea. Like, nobody wants this. I'm sorry. The only people that might want this might be like insecure narcissist Mexican girls.
Right.
It's the only people I could think of that might want this, and even them, what they need is somebody to sit them down and sternly explain to them that they're not the most important person in the world. That's what they need.
La Bella Dormente. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, just like Siesta de la Bonita. The beauty of sleep. I don't know.
Siesta is more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
midday.
I wanted to say something else. That is just something I noticed about Hollywood that I think is funny. So they're saying that it's going to have like Dia de los Muertos imagery. And I laugh at that because that's the Day of the Dead, in case you guys don't know what I'm saying. I'm sure you do, though. Because every time anyone in the film industry shows anything to do with Mexico, it's always the Day of the Dead. Have you noticed that? Like, if you're watching a movie and it doesn't matter where the movie is, it doesn't matter. But if you're watching any movie and there's a scene where the character goes to Mexico, it's always during a Day of the Dead parade. And everyone's got the sugar skulls and the music. And have you noticed that? It's like they do this thing where, like, for example, anytime a character goes to Chinatown, guess what? Chinese New Year's happening. Like, and no matter what time of the year it is, okay, they go there and there's the dragons and the fireworks, and like it's every single time, and it's so predictable. Every single time they go to anywhere, it's always like, what's the most stereotypical thing we could do, in Hollywood? Well, let's make it the special day of whatever, right? So it's like Day of the Dead. It's like Chinatown, fireworks, they go to Japan for whatever reason. It just happens to be on the one day where the cherry blossoms are falling. Like that's the one day that it happens, And it's just so that's what I would say is creative bankruptcy, is like just like going with these super stereotypical things. Every time they go to New Orleans, guess what's going on? Mardi Gras. Every time. Like that's the only thing that happens in New Orleans is Mardi Gras every day, all year round. So I don't know. I just think it's so lazy to do something like this. You're literally just giving Sleeping Beauty a coat of paint, and they're not going to do the story the same because Aurora she can't be rescued by Prince Philip, especially with a kiss. Like that's rape, basically. So
yeah, that's not consensual. How can you consent while you're sleeping?
I'm betting that if they are remaking it, it is specifically to alter that, and everything else is just like extra.
Right, built around that. They're like, how do we go around making? He's gonna have to hold her hand or something like. Even that actually is a little more consent, So yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how they try to write. Yeah, how they try to square that circle at Disney, because if this is still in production and hasn't been canceled like so many things, it is solely going to be built around the whole idea of how do we go and turn this into a identity politics kind of based message around the necessity of consent culture and all this kind of stuff.
Yep. So yeah, this is going to be
no bueno.
if I find out it's true, then we'll follow up. But I see disaster written all over this, and I think it's hilariously like terrible idea. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next thing. Let me look at some of your comments, and then we'll move on. So let me see. Authenticity passages in localizer contracts. Oh yeah, okay. I guess you're suggesting that that's how they could like fix this problem. Frank Blaskowitz, there has to be oversight to make that work, St. Hugo, but I think that would be a good idea. Frank Blaskowitz says, this time Aurora will save herself. You better believe it. She's going to save herself. You kidding me? Master Goa says, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker used Vocaloid software to do voices for commands that weren't part of cutscenes. Oh, wow. That game's old too, huh? Zarang says, I would love nothing more than to dump cold water on Disney's subsequent projects until they finally learn why people don't like Hollywood anymore. Yeah. Let's see. Zaranx, I already read that one. Master Goa says, with YouTube channels like Midnight Broadcast doing AI voice, there's no reason every game can't do it these days. It's just simple text to speech. Yeah, I think, well, a lot of voice actors probably have contracts, so they're just going to get a certain amount of work. And I also think gamers would like real voices. They like the authenticity of it. For example, I heard that Marvel Rivals is, for the next season, they're going to be adding 2 new characters. So they do 2 characters every season now, and the next character is Rogue from the X-Men. and that's pretty exciting. And they got the original voice actress that did Rogue in the old show from like the late 80s and the X-Men 97 or 98, whenever the when they sort of brought it back. She was the same person. She sounds older. It's kind of like the voice actress for Harley Quinn on the Batman the Animated Series. Tara Strong, I think her name is. She's really good at what she does. People like her as a voice actress, even though she's getting up there. So I think that, but I do think that there is something about the like, I don't know, the star power of that they want to see it. But I also think that, yeah, I mean, if companies think that they're going to save a buck, then they'll probably.
AI still hasn't quite mastered inflection and intonation in voice. It can, and it still has some issues with pronunciation.
You can use it for some like smaller roles, but
right.
Like, yeah, but like the guy who did Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2, like I don't know if AI replicate that. So
right. There's a certain amount of the actual human quality that comes through that resonates in the voice that just isn't there with AIs. So
yeah,
but it definitely will. NPCs and things like that might as well, streamline where you can, unless it has some kind of deeper resonance in the game. But for a lot of that stuff, you don't really even pay attention to it anyways. It's just chatter. So if it's just chatter level kind of conversation, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like lesser NPCs, background noise, like a random like shopkeeper or whatever. I think like for main characters or like really important characters, you could just use an actress still or actor. Okay, so Norwegian says the West could have been a serious competitor to Japanese animation if we weren't so busy with destroying ourselves. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's definitely some people who really want to do good work. I already told you that Luke Weber comes to mind as an animator and a couple of other guys. But it's just where, it's like they still control the market or like the access at this point. But I don't think that's gonna last. I think things are gonna change. Norwegian Black Templar says Disney movie set in Palestine. Allahu Akbar, boom. Let's see. St. Hugo says there is potential for parody with that premise. Queen of the South woken up with the power of blow. Oh, okay. But anyway, all right. Let me know what you guys think about that one in the comments. We're gonna move on to the next story. So, very few movies, to me, are perfect. Okay, like I say it as a kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. Like, I have my absolute favorite movies. 3 come to mind, but others can sometimes are in that list as well. Maybe 4. Okay, 1 is Big Trouble in Little China. I love that movie. Another one is RoboCop. Okay, I think RoboCop is a perfect movie. The first one.
When you said perfect movie, the first thing I thought of, well, obviously RoboCop. It is
RoboCop, right? Yeah, yes. RoboCop. And another one is the original Predator. The original Predator is a perfect film. It is like they did, like James McTiernan. Unfortunately, he's the guy who directed it. Really good at doing like these kind of like very masculine oriented movies, like manly movies. He gave us Die Hard. He gave us Predator, like I was saying before. A couple of other flicks, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I think is one. I think there's one called the Other Guys. Is that Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling? I can't remember. It's either The Other Guys or The Good Guys or something like that. And also Last Action Hero, which I love. I think that's a great movie. Okay, I think it was one of those that was not appreciated for its time, considering what it was about.
Yeah, I think Other Guys was Will Ferrell and.
The Other Guys is the Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell. No, not that one. Yeah, it's different. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I think that guys like John Carpenter and James McTiernan are really good at capturing that. And the thing about Predator is the original Predator. It is a few things that people don't quite. It seems like nobody seems to get it. Okay, because the Predator 2 is okay, but like it's kind of more of the same. But everything after that was pretty weak. I mean, Predators with Adrian Brody was okay, but I wouldn't like want to buy it. But like a lot of them got it wrong.
The Power of Autism.
What do you mean? Oh,
Is it?
Wait, is that in that one?
That is that one. Yes, that's the Power of Autism.
No. You're thinking about the Predator.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was the one that was
Predators was the soyified
or directed by Shane Black.
Right.
I didn't see it. I heard it was a disaster. But like, the thing is, nobody seemed to get it. Shane Black was in the original Predator, and he didn't get it. I don't know why. So the original Predator is two things that people don't seem to notice. Number one, it's a horror movie. It's not an action movie. It's got action in it, but it's a horror movie. It's a slasher movie to be more precise, right? The Predator's taking these guys out one by one because they're stepping into a scenario where like these were like they like basically set the story up in the original Predator as these are the toughest guys in the world. Like they're the best, as Dylan says, you know, some damn fool told me you were the best. They're the best mercenaries, and they're specifically put on a mission that apparently no one else could do. And then they go in there and they do the mission, and then they run into something that is beyond their capabilities, beyond their understanding, and it's killing them off one by one. So you're supposed to be watching that going, holy shit, I thought these guys were badass and they don't stand a chance against whatever this is. And you don't know what it is. In fact, I mean, if you are old enough to remember, when I watched Predator the first time, I saw it when it came out. And it opens up with, the trailers don't really tell you much. So that was a cool thing, is the marketing was very mysterious. They didn't really tell you what was going on in the movie. But you knew it was a Schwarzenegger movie, so you were like, oh yeah, he's gonna kick ass, right? Like I saw Commando. And in the beginning, you see the alien ship, and then like it like goes on the planet, and then they cut away from it. And that's like in the prologue, like the movie hadn't even started yet. And then you're like dealing with, you know, all this stuff with this mission and you know, these like special forces guys and Dylan and all of that. And then you forget about the alien because they don't show him for a while. You don't even see it until the end, really. But like you forget that this movie's even about an alien. And then when the alien starts hunting them, then you realize the stakes are so much higher now. So this is what makes that movie work. So it is a slasher film and it's a horror film. All right. The other thing it is, and I think this is even more important, is it is essentially a retelling of Beowulf, which was like one of the first epic poems, epic stories, right? It is Beowulf, and the Predator is Grendel, and the team are like the Vikings, and Schwarzenegger is essentially Beowulf. And so it is a very old story that lasted because of how iconic it was, and it was just sort of repurposed. Another movie that is essentially just Beowulf is The 13th Warrior. If you've never seen The 13th Warrior, great movie, also love it. Antonio Banderas and a whole bunch of fucking Vikings, and they're going up against this savage tribe of like almost like primitive warriors, and they represent like Grendel in their own way, like this demon, this demonic force. So anyway, yeah, that's an aside. 13th Warrior, great movie. If you haven't seen it, fucking it kicks ass. Based on a book written by Michael Crichton called The Eaters of the Dead. But anyway, so Predator is a horror film, a slasher film, and it's Beowulf. This is why it works, because it's like subversion done right. And this is the thing about Michael, the James McTiernan. He was all of his movies were kind of subversive, but they weren't in a way that they were trying to undercut men or masculinity. They were doing it in a way that was like challenging, like basically preventing things from getting too cartoonish. So Predator was supposed to take these like hyper masculine dudes and take them down a notch, because it says, hey, no matter how big you think you are, there's somebody bigger. And it's humbling. It's almost got like a cosmic horror thing to it too, because you realize that these guys are like pretty like small. That's what Lovecraftian horror does. It makes you feel small compared to like the greater universe, right? So it has a little bit of that, kind of like The Thing, which is also great, does the same thing. And So you take that and you couple it with this Beowulf story, which is sort of like an iconic man versus nature story, and this is why it works, right? So and so McTiernan did that with Die Hard, where he basically took an action hero and put him in a realistic situation, or at least as realistic as we allowed in the 80s, which is why everyone loves that movie, because it's so it feels grounded compared to the more over the top stuff that was popular at the time. And he did it with Last Action Hero, which was a little bit like the most on the nose, where he was like poking fun at all of the tropes of action movies. So and a lot of people didn't appreciate it at the time, but it's worth. I think that it's definitely worth checking out. So I'm saying all that to say that this new movie, Predator: Badlands, has completely destroyed whatever was left of this franchise. Has been completely destroyed by this. If like when Shane Black did The Predator, I didn't watch it, but I heard it was just bad for, you know, like probably just on technical grounds or writing. Like he probably didn't, you know, like necessarily want to destroy the IP, but he just didn't understand it well enough to get that kind of, like I was trying to explain, that almost transcendent quality that made the original Predator work. Because I mean, Predator 2 just took that and just did it again. So it's like, but with Danny Glover, which is, I don't know, that is like hard to believe, but it was basically the same thing. It was just that people wanted more of that, right? Because the Predator in the first movie, we didn't know anything about it. Like they like left so much to the imagination. That's what made it work. But like anything else, the more you make about it, the less mystery there is, and so the less interesting the characters become. This happened with basically every iconic monster or creature that Hollywood has made, from the Predator to the Terminator to the aliens, the Xenomorphs, right? To fucking Chucky, like whatever it is, right? The Freddy, like they all lose their mystique because you become overexposed, and every time they do it, like people are asking for more information, so they give them a little bit, and it loses something. Sometimes the audience shouldn't get what they're asking for, and it's best left unsaid or ununderstood.
Right.
Like The Thing, no one knows still to this day what the Thing is, and if we ever learn what it is, it'll ruin it.
Right, and so, I know that's one of the big reasons I'm such a David Lynch fan is he respects the concept of the mystery, and you know, of course, that can be spun out in stupid ways by people like J.J. Abrams and his goddamn mystery boxes that aren't, you know, they're mysterious for the sake of being mysterious, but they're not actually mysterious because it goes beyond something that should be able to be explained and things like that. So if you go and try to account for stuff we were mentioning earlier, how did Han Solo get his dice? How did Indy get his hat? All this kind of stuff. It's like no one needs to know these sorts.
Or
of
how
things.
He got his blaster, or he got his name.
Right.
It's so dumb, right? Nobody know. Like that's just it. You shrink the world when you answer questions, especially questions no one asked.
Right.
You know, and but so like, okay, so getting to the problems with this. So earlier we were talking about how like sometimes, you know, franchises or ideas or IPs get destroyed by, you know, let's say just mishandling of it, like the people don't understand it very well, or they don't like the whole thing with, you know, like where they're trying to play it safe for whatever reason. For example, when Bryan Singer made the X-Men movies, back when we finally got an X-Men movie, he played it safe in a couple of ways, and it ended up being like a okay movie on its own, but nobody would say this is the definitive X-Men, right? They would just say, well, that's a movie adaptation, it's fine. And sometimes it works in their favor, because I don't know if you guys know, but Blade in the comics before the movies came out wasn't that interesting. I mean, they got it right, but what Wesley Snipes did, and even the guy who wrote it, David Goyer, the guy who wrote the script for Blade, what they did with it made it iconic. But that's like lightning in a bottle. Like that will almost never happen. But in
even
the comics,
they couldn't sustain it. The first movie, even with its dated CGI, is still a fucking badass movie. And then
hell yeah, and the second one,
Yeah.
Although I think the first one edges it out, even though the
Yeah.
second one, a lot of people like it more because of Guillermo del Toro. But I think Guillermo del Toro he can actually ruin projects because he's a little bit too sympathetic to monsters.
Right.
And so like it can like get in the way because it's like his whole thing, you know, like it. I remember when they said Del Toro was like the new Francis Ford Coppola, and it went to his head. So, but anyway, I'm not saying he's not a good, like he doesn't make good movies. I enjoy his movies usually, but anyway. So like, what was I saying? So going back to so like sometimes it's just negligence. So I think that Shane Black just dropped the ball, but I don't think he was like, I'm gonna subvert everything. I think he was just like, I think this would work, and it was just not good because he didn't understand. I think that what Predator is as I was saying, it's a slasher movie meets Beowulf, and that's it. And you're not supposed to learn too much about it. We just get a sense of what these guys are like. Like one of the things that was great about Predator 2 is that the ending where, you know, I mean, Danny Glover like cutting off the Predator's arm when he was trying to self-destruct. I mean, I was like, well, it had to happen because he's going to blow up New York because it was like a nuke, right? So I was like, no, that you can't, or Los Angeles, right? But at the end of the movie, the other Predators, he like runs into like 3 of them, and they like honor him, and they give him like an old gun from like, you know, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, or something like that, and they leave him there. And I love that they don't explain any of that. See that to me, that's a nice touch, right? But like we don't need to know anything else. And ever since then, they have dropped the ball for a number of reasons, some of which was negligence. But in the case of like, I want to say Prey, which was that the last one before this one?
Yeah, that was around 2021, I think, or
yeah. Prey, which I didn't see because fuck that. See, now Prey was, I think that was a malicious attempt to essentially girl boss that franchise.
They did girl boss that thing up. You know,
they absolutely did. I mean, doesn't she become like the leader of the tribe afterwards? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, that was not negligence or stupidity or ignorance or a lack of understanding. That was malicious. It was like, this is what we're gonna do, and it fell flat. I think. I don't know how well it did.
It was during the time where movies came out on streaming at the same time as in the movie theater. So yeah, so they'll always lean to that. So yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, that's the thing about streaming too, is that like studios don't have to make a good product because if it's on streaming, you've already paid for it, even if you don't watch it.
Right.
So this basically makes it easier for streaming services to put out trash.
Right.
And they don't have to take responsibility for trash.
And I think because of that, it kind of was met with some level of apathy more than it was scorn. And I think that they misinterpreted the fact that people weren't outright saying how terribly, you know, shit it was. It was because it was already at that stage where people were like, oh, it's Predator's kind of been run through the mud already. It is what it is. You know, I can't really be too concerned about it to even go and like it was the kind of movie that you would rather just hold on to your memories than go and have them crushed by seeing it. You know, it's like right now, this image that we have on the screen, this is not a Predator. You know,
no.
And this is only made possible because of a movie like Prey.
Oh, but dude, Prey was bad. Okay,
yeah.
Like from what I heard, it was a girl boss. Like bullshit.
The fighting of the bear and all the kind of stuff. Yeah.
But this is terrible. Like this. Like for whatever reason, there were a number of people who liked it. But let me read my notes here, and then I'll tell you what I think. Because I wanted to set all this up to explain that Predator was meant to be it was a franchise for men, which is why only a man can really appreciate it. Like there was literally an article. It's a joke article. I think it said, study finds men prefer, you know, Predator to marriage. So something like that, and I just thought it was funny, but it's true. So anyway, so Predator Badlands, directed by Dan Trachtenberg and released on November 7th, was garnered largely positive reception as a bold evolution in the franchise, earning an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.5 on IMDb. marketing it as the third highest rated Predator film overall. Critics praise his audacious shift in perspective, centering on a young, exiled Yautja. Those are the Predators. They're called Yautja. Which, again, something I didn't need to know, but at some point in I think it might have been the comic books, because they made comic books, which I heard were very good.
It was in the comic run that things like that.
Yeah, they explained what they were. But named Deck, who teams up with an android ally, Thea, for a coming-of-age adventure on a treacherous alien planet. Reviews highlight the film's thrilling action sequences, stunning world building, reminiscent of Dune and Avatar, and emotional depth, exploring the themes of family, empathy, and survival, with outlets like IGN awarding it an 8 out of 10 for cleverly building on predecessors like Prey and Killer of Killers, which I didn't see that either. So it first of all, they center on the Predator as the main character. Which I don't think works, but they did. They're basically taking the monster, because remember, these were slasher movies, and the Predator was a monster. Could you imagine if you watched, I don't know, like a horror movie like Hellraiser, and you made Pinhead the main character, and you were just following Pinhead around for the whole story? Like, wouldn't that lose? Like, the character would lose everything, because the thing that makes the monsters terrifying is that there's so much you don't know. Like, you don't understand about how they work.
They're supposed to exist in shadows.
Yeah, or like, what if you just follow Pennywise? Yeah, Pennywise from the It movies. If he was the main character, or the demon ghost from what is it called? Paranormal Activity. Like, it just doesn't work. But so they make the Predator the main character who you're following. I think that the Predators speak and in their language, and they have subtitles, so they're really trying to humanize it. And the real thing that bugs me is this. Okay, so the Predator species is a warrior species. They have like an honor culture or something like that, right? I don't know a lot about it. Like, I didn't read all the comics. I didn't get into all of the deep lore. I remember looking into it a little bit because I got into that game, Predator Badlands, which is a good game. I did like it, but unfortunately, just not a lot of people play it. It's sort of like an asymmetrical multiplayer where one person plays a Predator and the other people play a fire team. It's very cool. But I understand that they do have like a system. It's basically like a caste system, and they have an honor culture, and they're hunters, and they go to the hostile planets and they hunt the greatest game, and they bring it back as trophies. And it's all very hyper masculine stuff, right? It's all like great white hunter goes to the darkest parts of Africa to bring back the horn of a rhinoceros or something. It's very masculine in that sense, right? And it's so primal, and that made it attractive for storytelling purposes. So in the story for this movie, the father of this Predator is essentially the villain, because he is a toxically masculine Predator that is pushing his son to go and make himself into a real man by hunting a beast on another planet that is the most dangerous game on that planet, which is what they all do, by the way. This is why Alien vs. Predator was cool as a concept, because the aliens were like the perfect organism, and so the Predators wanted to hunt the perfect organism. That's why it worked as a concept, even though it failed in the movies.
Yeah, I think the last thing a Predator needs is an existential crisis of faith.
And the Predator meets up with this android, which is essentially a reference to aliens. Right. One of those, and the android is a quirky girl that like tells jokes, and she's like, adds like this like gee whiz like Buffy the Vampire Slayer humor to it.
She's a disabled NPC.
Yeah, she's a disabled. She's disabled because it's just like her. She's like only the torso up, right? No legs. Right. And she teaches him empathy, and like that it's okay to be like to have your feelings. Like that's what it is. It's like it's so insane. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Right.
So they make the Predator into a sympathetic protagonist, that is like mad at his father for who's also these are predators. These are
right.
monsters.
I know, like the audacity of someone to think you know what Predator needs is it needs
Oh my
introspection. No, their
Yeah.
culture is what it is. Take your goddamn identity insanity and check it at the fucking curb. That is not what this is any way, shape, or form even
Dude,
remotely about.
there's even a cute alien pet that they like bring along. Like it's literally the Disney like
Merch.
model, like the Disney formula, like have like a you know, a quirky girlfriend or a female friend character and
Right,
like a
right.
little animal, like a pet thing. And so like but like a lot of people are their criticisms of it is that they're saying, oh, it's using the Disney formula, but that's less of my problem than it is like ultimately what it is completely destroying what the franchise was. So
Right.
the franchise was for men and it was a male oriented story and it was honoring that, and this is taking that and saying no, actually all of that is bad and I'm going to prove it by taking my monster, turning him into a sensitive like child character that could cry, that just needs to let it go and cry, or
Male feminist predator.
it'll make me mad. And then like and he only learned that from his father. Like it's all socialized. Like all of this behavior is socialized from the father, and the father's the real monster, right?
It's so ludicrous to think though that predator societies are not human societies. You know, this would not enter into, oh, is it really right to go out do the hunt? This is all they know. This is supposed to, this is pretty clear cut, and that's but no, you need to be introspective. You need to think about all the wonders of the wind and all this kind of stupid happy gaga horse shit that they put in there. That is not. This is the antithesis of what this is a skin job, and it's not even a good skin job because this is the most beta soy predator that has ever been committed to a predator movie. This does not even look like a predator to me. So I guess I can understand this one is queer aligned or something. You know, all this stuff is just way too fucking retarded to even not have your eyes roll out of your head. Yeah.
I just want to, okay, look, I want to show you guys something that really pisses me off. Okay. So Rotten Tomatoes did a ranking. So there's 9 Predator films. Okay. Rotten Tomatoes did a ranking of all 9 of them. So let's look at their ranking system here. Okay. Because this is like how disconnected these people are. So number 9, so the worst of them, is Alien versus Predator Requiem. Probably. I mean, I don't know. I would say this one that we just talked about is the worst. Like, I think it's probably at the bottom is Predator Badlands and then Prey for being like girl boss bullshit. And any other Predator movie that is like not good is probably somewhere in that middle ground, and then the original Predator is number 1. That's it. Like the original Predator is number 1, then Predator 2 can be in second place, and then maybe Predators, and then all the other bullshit like Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator
even the second position is a very distant second. You have Predator all the way up here,
it is,
and then everything else kind of drops to this level.
I mean,
already,
like it's one of those movies you watch. Like, you know, you're hanging out with your friends. You want to watch Predator 2? Fuck it. You know, like it's not like it's not a fantastic movie, but it's fun. And I think that's the thing. These movies were fun for what they were, but I wouldn't talk about it. Like I wouldn't write an essay about Predator 2. but number 9, Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Okay, that's probably I would say, you know, not deserve it. Then Alien versus Predator. So obviously these people don't like those movies. AVP Requiem got 12%. That is nuts, man. And then we got Predator 2. So that's wrong. That should be higher up. Okay. Predator 2. Then The Predator. This is the Shane Black one, which I didn't see.
That's the power of autism.
Yeah, then Predators, which I didn't hate. I think that could be in third place. I didn't hate it. Then the original Predator. So the original Predator is number 4.
What fuck
are you doing? Like, are you fucking kidding me? This is a perfect film. Predator Badlands is better than Predator. Prey is better than Predator Badlands. And then Predator Killer of Killers. I don't know what this is. This is on Hulu? Is that like a series or something? What is that?
That must be some kind of... What the fuck? I've never even heard of this shit.
No, this is an anthology story. So it's got like 3 it's like 3 short stories in the Predator universe. So no, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna watch that. So like, this is how they rank it. So like this is just like, this is heresy. Okay, absolute heresy. The original Predator is by far the best one.
Easily.
Alien vs. Predator has the biggest box office. Predator 2, Danny Glover is the best Predator movie, followed by the first. No, the original Predator movie is the perfect film, guys. I don't care.
Get your ass to the chopper.
What you say. It just is, okay? I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you what they are. So, yeah, anyway, so the Predator movie is in line with all the stuff that's been going on in Hollywood. Essentially, castrates everything that made it good, and then like leaves us with the eunuch that is the franchise, and then celebrates it. That's what it did. It did it to Aliens as well, with the Alien franchise, which
I mean, that humiliation ritual of sorts, and celluloid.
They tried to do it with The Thing. Like, I heard that there was talk about remaking it. I wouldn't touch it. Like, nothing needs to happen to The Thing. There was also another thing that was talked about was a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China and a remake of that. I think they were talking about doing it with The Rock. Thank God that didn't happen.
Oh God,
that didn't happen.
Right.
Just stop, guys. Come up with new ideas, or remake Buckaroo Banzai or Ice Pirates or something. But like, don't touch this stuff anymore. But anyway,
things that got it right are to be celebrated. And if you want to try to make something again that wasn't successful in its outing, sure, have at that. But the stuff that actually works, there's no reason to try to reinvent it or make pointless reimaginations. This is fucking retarded. Yeah. Shot the Rock in Big Trouble in Little China. So
it's okay. Like, we're still in Hollywood. We're still not ready for basically masculine films. We're not ready for that yet. And maybe when the time comes, you know, like when that time comes, it probably won't come out of Hollywood itself, because I think that there are young, hungry people who want to make films and shows, and they're doing it. And so when that day comes, maybe we'll get something new that will scratch that itch. But Predator Badlands is not it. So I don't know. I was never interested anyway, but I just had to talk about this because it's Predator is like one of my favorite movies ever. And again, I knew the franchise was dead because of all of the failures that happened. So I'm not saying, oh, I wish they could have done this better. I just wish they hadn't done it.
Right. And it's one of those things, if you don't mention it now, you'll never mention it again, because you're going to memory hold this shit as quickly as possible. So
yeah. All right. Well, let's see what you guys have to say, and then we're going to move on to the last story, which is a special announcement that I'm proud to mention. So Master Goa says, Big Trouble in Little China will always be my favorite movie. Great movie. I love it. Then he says, Terminator 2 and The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya are my other favorite movies. I've never heard of that second one, but I love Terminator 2. I like Terminator 2. Mr. 0303 says, Last Action Hero tried to warn us how much of a cuck Arnold is IRL. Mr. 0303 says, the first Predator was 3 movies in one: action, horror, and survival. That's true. Then he says, imagine if The Thing got 5 sequels. Well, they did try to do a prequel. I don't think anyone watched it. With I forget her name, but she played Ramona Flowers in Scott Pilgrim. Let's see what else.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor's wife. She's got that ass.
She is a nice looking lady.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name. Life
She was, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Mr. 0303 says Prey was feminist cringe. I think, yeah, like this one's worse. I think it's worse to emasculate. Girl bossing is boring, and I don't like it, and I wouldn't support it.
Yeah.
Like actually, like castrating your, like doing this shit. This
girl bossing is bad enough.
Like stuff, it really pisses me off.
Yeah, girl bossing is terrible, but that's because they're trying to masculinize women. But this is demasculization of
men,
just men in general, and that is definitely the furthest reaches of we've completely lost the plot because now men are women kind of thing, or women aspire to be men aspect of feminism. Yeah, this is where they've even completely lost the plot. They're like, well, no, we just need to get rid of testosterone and masculinity in general, and that would be the way. This is more the new man shit. This is fucking Pablo Pascal. Yeah. This is Pedro Pascal.
It is.
Yeah, this is Predator Pascal, I guess.
They really like people ate this shit up too. It's fucking annoying. All right,
the Pedro.
Yeah. Dean Domino says, I got turned off on Del Toro when he made that quote about what the pale man represented in Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, I remember that from a while ago. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I know what you're talking about. Norwegian says, Trickster Not says, the leader of the tribe whose men are all dead. So I guess all the men of the tribe in Prey died off. So she's the leader of just a bunch of women. This is like that's the cringe though. Like they're basically just gonna die off or they're gonna get absorbed into another tribe. So Zarang says giving him a gun from the Civil War is a bit on the nose of if that's what happened, they made that film today, I'd view it negatively because of all the political correctness aspects. Yeah, I don't remember if it was a Civil War gun. It might have been a Revolutionary War gun though, because it was like a musket. And I think that's what it was. And it had like a date on it. And I want to say it was like the 1700s, but I can't remember.
That exactly. Gun was kind of the thing that they were trying to, let's solve a thing that nobody really
they did a callback to it in another movie, right?
Yeah. Prey sets it up for
Prey. Oh my God. See, this is more shit we didn't need. Like somebody was like, hey man, put that gun from Predator 2. Remember that? Like that already said what needed to be said, which was like, this is how long they've been doing this. That's all you needed to know. No, they needed to be a nice, tight little circle. Like it's all connected, guys. That's so lazy.
Yeah.
Mr. 0303 says there's only one Predator movie, basically. I mean, I could watch the second one though. Let's see. The less you try to explain it, the better. Yes. Great Endor says, the Del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth is a way overrated movie that is called a masterpiece by too many people. I've heard that The Devil's Backbone is good, but now I trust people's opinion. Now I don't trust people's opinion anymore. I did see like Kronos and The Devil's Backbone, but it was a long time ago. I don't really remember it. All I know is that unless that Frankenstein thing that he made is good, which I have to check out at some point, I think that Del Toro is generally like he's just starting to like repeat himself because it's like he got into this theme of like I'm sympathetic to the monsters, and that's been like everything he's done. So it's like The Shape of Water where a girl like fucks a merman, which I didn't see, but it looks like Abe Sapien from Hellboy, which apparently like so yeah, that was Hellboy and Hellboy 2. Those are also Del Toro movies. Tricks or Not says the Alien versus Predator game was very good. Yes. Is that the one that had the death match where you could play as an alien, a predator, or a marine? I thought that those games were awesome. Like those games were awesome. Like that's something I'd like to see come back. I think there are some, like I already mentioned, Predator not Badlands. Predator the hunt or whatever, the hunting grounds, Predator hunting grounds, which was an asymmetrical multiplayer. That was pretty solid. And then there's like Alien Fire Team, which was pretty cool too. It was
dude, Fire Team Elite. Yeah, that is
Alien Fire Team Elite is very cool.
I love me some AFT.
what was it? Colonial Marines was supposed to be, but like Gearbox dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, AFT is one of my most favorite kind of. I guess it's kind of extraction shootery kind of thing.
Yeah, you like do missions and
yeah. I know.
yeah.
Oh, believe me, I played it all the way through. I bought that game twice.
PlayStation Plus, Alien Fireteam Elite. But like, if I think I might, if it's not too expensive, I might pick it up on PC.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I had it on my PS5, and as soon as I knew that I was going to stop paying for my subscription, I need to get Alien Fireteam again for my Steam Deck, and I actually do have that. I need to play through it again so I can unlock everything. But that is a game that I would gladly start from, level 0 again.
From level 0.
And acquire.
I did enjoy it, but I didn't play it. I didn't have anybody to play it with, but I did enjoy it. Okay, so Norwegian Black Templar says they made the Predator a dorky simp and the android a manic pixie dream girl. Yes. Let me see. Let's see. Del Toro has some good qualities, but he's super woke. Absolutely, they're all woke. It's Hollywood, baby. Hollywood, baby. Master Goa says this conversation is why I'm glad we have games like Mullet Mad Jack. There is no touchy-feely feelings, no character arc, no character development, just a guy killing robots to win shoes. Yeah, sometimes it can be fun and simple. There was this one that reminds me of this one movie with Clive Owen. And I can't remember what it's called. But he like, it's like it's like a big action movie. And I think he's got like a carrot in it, and he wears a trench coat. He's just like he's like the whole thing starts over something silly.
Yeah, I can't. And it's just like
either, but yes, God, what is it called? It's not shoot 'em up, is it?
I don't know if that's right. It could be that, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name right.
Yeah.
It is just straight up, just nonstop action.
Yeah, it's just. Or what about the other one? That's all from the first person perspective. Hardcore Henry.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun, man. Like that's a fun movie. All right, great Indoor says a day in the life of Pinhead. Yeah, like how he wakes up and he's like brushing his teeth, like this, like stuff we didn't need. Like no, that's dumb. But you know what? These people.
The life of a Cenobite.
Yeah, the life of a Cenobite. Exactly. Let's see. Great Endor says, I wonder if there are minority predators who are being oppressed by majority predators. That would be a fantastic plot. He's being sarcastic. But that's the thing, though. It's a warrior culture, so probably the weak ones died. Like, it was like the Spartans, And that was like, I don't know. Like, it's like these people are afraid that if we admire that too much, that we're going to, like, adapt it. Like, oh, we should live like the predators do. Go to different planets and hunt the most dangerous game. No, dude, it's a movie. We're just like having a little bit of fun.
Yes, Mr. Predatorial says, soy jack.
Yeah, Mr. 0303 says the original Predator should be on every top 10 list. Agreed. It is on every top 10 list in my mind. Let me see. Dean Domino says, I think The Princess Bride is a perfect movie. I like The Princess Bride. It's a very good movie. I enjoy it quite a bit. I don't know if it's perfect, but it's definitely like there's like certain movies that are incredibly quotable, and any movie that's quotable is way up there on my list. And Princess Bride is one of them.
Yeah.
What was that?
Anyone want a peanut?
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah.
It's great. Inconceivable. Okay. So let me see. Greydendor says the first Alien vs. Predator was terrifying as a colonial marine with those facehuggers and their one-hit kill capacity. Yeah, man. Like I don't know. I mean, I guess they were balanced, but I'm not sure. Nobody wanted to be the marine. Everybody wanted to be. Actually, the Alien was hard to play because you'd be like climbing and you can go on the walls and the ceiling and everything, and you could like get disoriented from climbing. So just running around as an alien. Okay. Norwegian Black Templar says we are already adapting the warrior culture through Islamic invasion. Well, there you go. That's what we're gonna get. All right. So anyway, thank you for your comments. We got one last thing to cover, and that is an announcement. So you guys probably know this, but the Great Rebellion, which was one of the, a really great indie game, probably one of the most base games ever made, at least so far, is going to be coming out on the Nintendo Switch. And I spoke to the gentleman from Cult Games, and he was very excited. I said, look, I'm going to talk about this on the show. And I think that, like, look, if you don't own the game yet and you own a Switch, check it out. Maybe pick it up, show them some love. And I think it might even have some unique stuff in it. I think I believe so. I could be wrong though. So it's going to be on Switch. Let's take a look at the trailer for it. We're going to watch this really quick. This is the Great Rebellion Switch. Hopefully the sound works. Yep.
Enter the year 2084, where the Lucius Lux Corporation rules the world, where freedom is a distant memory and rebellion is the only hope. One man against an empire. He's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for our future. In a world where humanity stands at the brink, they'll face the ultimate enemy, a digital dictatorship that owns everything. Judgment comes to those who deserve it. Too bad they all deserve it. But he won't face it alone. With every run, a new challenge. Every weapon, a new strategy. In the fan-favorite cyberpunk roguelike, where no two rebellions are ever the same. The time has come for man and spirit to rise in The Great Rebellion 2084 edition. Now, rebel from anywhere.
Yeah, we showed this last night over on Toasties as well. 'Cause as soon as I saw that they were putting it out on Switch, I was like, dude, this game's so great. I may not ever plan on buying a Switch, but if you already have one and you're looking for a great game, I can't recommend anything higher that's come out of the indie space recently. Music's fucking badass. I got a free copy of the game and admittedly to check it out, but even with the free copy, I ended up paying for the soundtrack because it's just that good. You know, everything about this.
Oh
game
yeah,
is,
I have the soundtrack too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so this is available on Switch. And it's funny, it's good enough for Nintendo, but not for the German government. Too edgy for the German government. Fine for Nintendo though, which I you know, I'm a little bit thinking like the other shoe might drop and Nintendo might notice what it's actually about, but maybe they won't. Maybe they don't care. So yeah, I mean, the Great Rebellion, they're doing well. The guys over at Cult Games, and now it's available on a console. So let's hope that keeps going for them. And yeah, I don't know what else to add to that. I just think it's good news, you know.
Yeah. Well, like I say, if you've got a Switch and you haven't picked this up for Steam yet, definitely a worthy purchase. I can, you know, from my own experience playing it, it definitely is something that is well worth the time and the investment. And it's got ultimate replayability because it's based on systems kind of design. Well, as they're saying in the commercial, no two rebellions are the same. So it is good stuff. I can't give a higher recommendation for a game that actually is commenting on the state of things and where it's all kind of heading with this corporatist driven globalism through digital currencies and all this kind of like the jokes they make about, you know, kind of the state of where things are in that future hell space. It is a breath of fresh air in, you know, in a sea of things that are so just kind of like, well, I don't know. It normally when you have the dystopic future hellscape kind of thing, it seems as though they're trying to say that it's all responsible for these certain things, but they opaque the actual silk glove aspect of the Iron Fist, and it's very, very quick to point out that a lot of this stuff is identity politics shielded and all that. Great Rebellion is definitely one of my most favorite games that I've acquired in the last few years. Is yeah, I can't say enough about it in terms of how worth your time it is if you have it. If you have a Switch and you're looking for something that's actually worthwhile to play on there, even mechanically, you know, but everything about it just works really well. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, check out the Great Rebellion. So Great Indoors asks, "What's too edgy about this game for Germany?" Well, it is a game that is, let's just say it is not afraid to openly call out the problems that we're experiencing culturally. It is the culture war game, and
it's too honest,
unashamedly so.
Yeah.
And it features characters in the game like Sam Hyde and Father Sarah from Rose and others.
Stonecutter cartoons are in there.
Yeah, Stone Tossers.
Stone Toss
is featured in it. There's a lot of cameos and references to Troons in like Drag Queen Story Hour and shit like that. So it's not afraid to be what it is, and it's very being anti-politically correct is putting it mildly. It's just overt, like it's overtly antagonistic to the let's just say the predominant monoculture. And Germany wouldn't have any of that. And the guys at Cult Games, they've been involved in the culture war for a long time, so they have a lot of experience with what's been going on. I'll put it that way. So I don't want to speak for anyone, but I have interviewed them. So you can go to my channel and look up. It's in my history. It was probably like 2 years ago or maybe a year ago, where I sat down with the guys at Cult Games and chatted with them about this project and another project. They have a few projects in the works, but I think The Last Guy is the other one. And pushing the demo for that quite a bit. So also, as an aside, we're going to be wrapping up here in a second, but also as an aside, Crowned in Steel, which is made by Sverun Games, they have an update to their demo that looks really good, and I played a little bit of it, and they've cleaned up a lot of things, and it looks really that looks really promising as well. So check out the Crowned in Steel demo on Steam. It's got a great combat system, pretty cool. And I think there was another one called Acts of Blood, which was made in, I want to say, Vietnam, or Thai. No, it's Indonesia. It's an Indonesian beat 'em up, and it was very buggy. The demo was like an alpha demo, but it looks like it's shaping up quite a bit as well. So if you like beat 'em ups, check out Acts of Blood. So, and what else was I going to mention? I guess that was one other thing that I was going to make a story, but I'm just going to mention it in brief. So there's a guy named Sandy Peterson. And if you guys don't know who Sandy Peterson is, he's the designer behind the tabletop RPG Call of Cthulhu, but he also worked on Doom and Age of Empires. So he's an old game designer and that's been in the business for a long time. And he recently appeared on this channel called Normal America with Rob Noor. And Rob Noor was an old Gamergate guy that currently does online, debates. He's a debate bro, friends with Andrew Wilson. And he had him on his show, and they were talking about the climate of game development. And Sandy Peterson's not a slouch. He knows his stuff. And he's definitely had a problem with the way things are headed. And he's been pretty vocal. So that's pretty cool, too. I'm just saying that more people are speaking up, and that's a good thing. So, all right. I think that's it. I think I'm going to look at your comments, and then we're going to wrap it up. So this is good, right on time. So let's see. Dean Domino says, my favorite movie is either Pulp Fiction or Shawshank Redemption. Those are both good movies. I think Shawshank Redemption is a little bit better, but I enjoy those. Yes, that Kill Bill's coming back to theaters.
Yeah, and then one long cut.
Yeah, one long cut, but I have them on DVD. I'm fine. Right. Norwegian Black Templar says, didn't Nintendo state that they will break your Switch if you try to modify it? Oh, I don't know. That sounds like some Apple shit, though.
Yeah, that is definitely Switch 2's whole methodology. is trying to lock everything down, and
Ugh.
yeah, that is a big part of it. A whole bunch of DRM built into that system. One of the main reasons why I have no interest in the Switch too.
Yeah. Great Indoor says Germany is notoriously whiny and censorious about video games, though, and have been for decades. Well, yeah, I mean they're like the most cucked country in Europe, I think.
Right.
You lose one war, and never let you forget it. St. Hugo says bought it directly from their site when it came out. Steam Germany was just out of the picture. All right, thank you guys for your comments. All right, John, we're gonna wrap it up here.
Yep.
And where can people find you this week?
Well, in about an hour's time, I will be doing another Saturday show with Heavenly Jester. We're starting to do that again on his channels. You can find on YouTube and here on Rumble. And that will start at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it'll go for about 2 hours. So as soon as we finish up the show, I'm heading over to another studio. I believe there's every possibility that Leon, Words of Paradise, will be there as a guest if he has the time, and we're going to be talking about kind of the invasion of identity influencers in anime. We're also going to be talking about the upcoming season 2 of Fallout series. But yeah, I had to yesterday watch a couple of clips that he sent me because I was trying to figure out how to go about doing production art and whatnot. And one of the things that I watched yesterday was about. All right, so the first one, because I watched 2 videos, and I'm like, this is really what we're going to talk about. I just want to make sure. And it's it's not about political influence in anime. It's about the people who read too much into it, media studies types and whatnot. And so yesterday the first video that I looked at was a guy going on about how everything is anti-Semitism and fascism from his Jewish perspective and all this kind of stuff. And it was just like, all right, so people that have way too much invested in seeing things a certain way. And then the next video I watched was some pink-haired, trans queer. Well, no, not trans, but queer, culture kind of whatever. And at that point in time, I was like, all right, I just need to talk to you for a second about what we're. And then he explained that yes, what we're covering is not this stuff going into anime, but the people who are reading too much into it and trying to make it about that. So we'll be talking about that in about an hour's time. And then, of course, tomorrow at, what is it? It is 9 a.m. Eastern over on Will the Fans channel. We'll be doing an episode of Time and Red Dwarf and Space Reviews for Season 6, Episodes 5 and 6. And, of course, you can always find me on Will's channel at that time, 9 a.m. Eastern, on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for WTF Live, and then the random Jackbox streams as they happen, based on audience participation and gifted membership drives, things like that we do. And then also tomorrow night, we got another episode, another panel episode for Toasty, starting off at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do the shows there throughout the week on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Tuesdays and Thursdays is just Toasty and I now, and then on Fridays we kind of get a little bit more relaxed and cut loose. We're going to have a nice little party panel atmosphere, and then Sunday there's a few other people that we tend to hang out with on Sundays. And then of course when I get done with that, I will be committed to tearing everything down, using my day off on Monday to completely rebuild the studio space with a new desk unit, because this table, obviously broken. And all sorts of, stuff that I've just been meaning to do for months now that the PC's here. I have no reason to put it off any longer. That, and I got to get rid of this fucking annoying ass vibration sound that everybody's hearing from the fan. But with that said, though, it's been a fun-filled 2 hours. Always great time here on the weekend for the weekend culture. And thank you, everybody in the audience. Even if you just spent time with us and didn't necessarily, contribute in the chat or anything like that. just the fact that you're here watching us is greatly appreciated. We got 22 people over on Rumble right now today, which
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
I don't even have my tits out.
Right? I know. I almost feel like I need to give you guys a shimmy or something, but that's a different show that I do. But thanks so much for being an awesome quality audience. We appreciate every last one of you. And always a pleasure being here to talk to you on the weekends. But with that said, you all have a wonderful weekend going forward. Of course, safe travels ahead and be awesome as always.
All right. Well, if you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about what we discussed on the show today. And please, please, please share this video because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of The Week in Culture. And we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Long live Vivian.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people. And maybe say it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe say we don't want you around if you're going to be a cunt.
Yeah.
And hateful. And that the games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker. Yeah! And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Has anyone taken you up on that yet?
No, because they're all pussies.
Yep.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.